The engineering report tonight is actually full of good news. I'm sorry, I'm trying to log in. We're going to start with gumbers and framing in Building A in the exterior walls. As you see, it is in progress. We're also working on the interior stairway for Building A as well. In the process of working on the mock-up windows on Building A, as you see, it's a process of being installed.
Hold on a second with that, because if the windows get installed, we're in the middle of a drought right now. Governor Brown is about to declare a drought in 3 weeks. I go by that site every day, and it looks like they're making tremendous strides in progress. If windows are installed, what will that do in terms of making it weather tight and able to go in and do the sheetrock and do the other work? Can you give me an idea where this project is and what's going on?
Well, Mr. Ramsey, if you look at it, this is the mock-up window surround with the flashing that comes as one unit and gets installed. And installing the windows would be the next step. And this is just the mock-up window. This is just to see how it's going to look like, how it's going to be. If we get the approval on the installation, then we'll go ahead and proceed with the rest of the windows throughout the whole building. And you're right, we'll have to do the windows first, and we will have to then do the drywall. And Building A, roof-wise and water intrusion-wise, should be okay because the roof is complete and it's watertight. Building B, on the other hand, we are in the process of installing the fire sprinkler system, as well as the rough-in plumbing, and as you see, the curbs are ready to get poured. We're also working on the outside framing for Building C, which is just kind of following Building A. The roof has been installed in over Building B. As you see, it's been craned in. And this is the progress of Building C with the outside framing with the curtain walls.
Well, that's actually from 5 weeks ago, and it's way more advanced. So can you you've been by, what have you seen lately since we haven't had any rain?
Well, Mr. Ramsey, we have not stopped rain or not, and if you remember in my previous reports, we've shown mud but still work taking place. We showed trenches, we showed bulldozer and bobcats kind of swiveling around in the mud. Yes, the picture's 5 weeks old. It's been a holiday, and we have not, and I had to have the report ready for this week. The progress today, it is more advanced than what it is. This is the inside, and they are ready to start the interior framing for Building C. In the meantime, Building C roofing is in progress. As you see, we have there is the gutter work and the parapet walls. From there, also I've shown in the photo in my last report about how rainy, how muddy it was, how tight the site was. But in the meantime, we're working on the utility yard. This is a photo of the foundation of the utility yard, which has been poured already. From there, we are going to go to Portla. This is the basement in Building A that has already been done. Also, interior framing on Building A is in progress, is really in a good shape, as you see. We're in the process of installing the roof.
Hold on a second. Dr. Harder, Mr. Fay, I got to tell you that these photos are so not even close to what the site looks like now that I just really strongly believe these should be withdrawn, and that we should have a different presentation with sites at Portola. They're way beyond this in terms of the roofing. I was just out there at 1 o'clock today. I had a meeting and I was on site. These are just not accurate depictions. When was this photo taken?
It's coming your way, Mr. Ramsey. Next picture. You see that the roof, the roof is, the first layer of the membrane is in place. This is the footing for the first pad down.
Okay, hold on a second. I want people to go out there. It looks nothing like that. The frame of the walls are all up.
It's coming next picture, Mr.
No, no, no,
Here
no,
it is.
no, 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 no. It's even more. I mean, that's better reflection of what I saw today. So that's a more accurate depiction. So I just want to make sure I'm clear that these people. This is a very important project, and I want people to really understand. They're doing a lot of, people working the day before Christmas, they're working the day after Christmas, they're working the day before New Year's, they're working the day after New Year's. And I want the community to really know what's going on. They watch these shows. So I want to make sure we're very clear about what we are. This is an accurate picture from what I saw today. So go ahead.
As you see, the walls in the process being formed and...
Of the multi-purpose building.
You're right. This is the higher pad where the right next to building A, as you see, there is in the process of erecting the structure steel. There's quite a bit of progress there, and there's a lot of steel has been erected. Again, working on the higher pad. From there, we're going to Ohlone. Actually, I spent a little bit of time on Ohlone today. It's coming along quite well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Abdallah, but back to because I want to go through this without asking, back to Portland. There's 63 rain days allotted on this project for a 12-month calendar period. They've only claimed on this project 4. What does that mean for this project now as we, obviously, unfortunately, we're in drought conditions, but this project started back in May. There's 63 total rain days. They didn't have any in December that they claim. They have 12 that they're eligible for January. I don't know what's going to happen with February. What does that mean for this project since those rain days have not been captured or not been utilized in terms of the timing of this project?
Well, Mr. Ramsey, we mean exactly what we talked about last meeting, that this project, as we speak, is ahead of a schedule.
That's right. It's ahead of schedule.
Yes.
Okay, I just want the board to be clear about that.
Let's remember, by the end of the year, we'll count how many of the 63 we used and how many we didn't. We'll go back against what we talked about last meeting as well, which is the float part of this whole equation. But you're right, we are ahead of schedule.
Okay, we're ahead of schedule. I just want people to keep knowing that because as we go through, Fairmont is looking to transition. So for NIA and the teachers, they may start getting excited because they're saying, okay, they can get in, not saying yet, but if they can, let's be ready to have a transition plan. So we have to have some ongoing discussions about what would happen with Fairmont Elementary.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Mr. Ramsey. Actually, the same story applies to Gomber, that is a project that's ahead of schedule.
That's right.
And now we're talking about the Nystrom equation with leadership move and how sooner is going to be moved ahead of schedule. This all is in play. Thank you. Ohlone, on the other hand, is coming a long way.
That's the opposite.
Outside looks great. Still quite a bit of work on the inside. This is the main road between the temporary camp playground as it is right now and building B. This is the area where we are going to take off the contractor contract now so we can do the work on the temporary housing over the playground, temporary playground area. A lot of hardscape has been poured. No landscape yet. This has been paved already, the main entrance to the school. One of our other good projects.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a report tonight on Helms.
Mr. Ramsey, I have Mr. Wangarhan with me today. He will substitute for Mr. Villar, who is actually undergoing recovering from heart surgery.
He had it.
Mr. Garhan?
Yeah, Mr. Villar had heart surgery, was successful with it, so he's rehabilitating, and he's under strict doctor orders not to leave the house. I talked to him yesterday. No, his wife was. Helms. They're going to talk about the sports field.
I was there by there the other day.
I'm just trying to let people know it's about to open up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first to play on it.
More power to you.
I'll have Mr. Garhan would be able to answer any question, Mr. Ramsey. I'll show you a couple of slides quickly for Helms, just bring us up to speed to where we at. As we see, the turf is in place. This is the maintenance storage shed in the back. Still a little bit of work to be done. In the process of installing the new scoreboard. These are the bathrooms on row 20. Still quite a bit of work to be done there. The training field and handball walls. Mr. Ramsey, before you notice that, these pictures also,
It's all done.
a week or two old, you're right, and now this has all been completed.
It's all done. Randy said he was there the other day.
I will,
Well, let's hear about Helms while he's here. Mr. Garahan?
I'll have Mr. Garhan answer any question that you may ask.
Good evening, Mr. Ramsey and board. At this point, the pictures really speak a lot to the project. I can speak to the details of it. We, as a construction management team, see the project over 80% complete at this point. The expectation, the contract duration takes us through the middle of April. We're hopeful that we'll be done ahead of that, but that is.
What do we have in retention?
The retention is the normal amount, 10%.
Did we know what that is? If not, it's
The
okay.
contract value was originally $5.9 million, so 10% of that, but we've added 200,000 since, so a little over $6.6 million, 10%, $600,000.
So does it look like it's going to open up after the President's Day weekend?
That's not what the schedule represents. The schedule represents contract completion April 21st.
Okay. So what I'm trying to find out, if it is somewhat ahead of schedule, when will the community, because it's a community field and they're going to want to jump on and play soccer and run around and do their, what's the football team, the Steelers or whatever, Pee Wee football. I mean, it's a great facility for our kids in our community, and definitely it is. Is there any sort of benchmark dates that you guys want to look at to be able to know if maybe it even opens up ahead of April 21st?
Well, not at this point, Mr. Ramsey. We still need to know what's the status of the community center itself, as it is a project in the middle of our projects, and there is fine-tuned certain the area around the community center.
When do you do the commissioning on it?
I'm sorry.
When will you do the commissioning?
It should take place sometime early April.
Okay. But by the summer, people will be able to utilize it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there been a high change order rate on this, or has it been pretty standard?
It's very well within the standards, Mr. Ramsey.
Okay. That's great. I'm glad that that's going well. I mean, this is, for me, an example of why I'm really going to be pushing that the Downer fields and the Pinot Middle fields happen. You know, we're going to talk about the facility subcommittee, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be aligned, and then we have multiple places where our kids can utilize facilities. So, because I saw they got started at Coronado the other day. So thank you, Mr. Garrett.
Well, the Downer field, just to put your money in ease, Mr. Ramsey, is ready to go. We're planning to put it on the street the next week or two.
I appreciate that, because I don't want to drag him here to the board and do what we did with Montalvan, because guess what? Montalvan went fine. And we need to get going on the Downer fields. We got to get going. So you're giving me your representation. It'll be bid advertised by the end of the month?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
We can keep going. That's good news for Downer. I'm sure they're going to be excited.
From there, we go into the Anza. and these are the weight room with the weight equipment has been in place. We're still working on the fire restoration on the one classroom that we got everything else there. We're still replacing the runners and drop ceilings tiles. This is Kennedy Science Buildings, also another project that's going very well for us. The process of doing the ceiling insulation, it's a blown-in insulation for certain reason. Also, the wall insulation is in place. Process of putting the slabs. Interior framing is full speed. Roof is working on the roof, getting it ready to receive the equipment. Working on the curbs, waiting to drop the equipment.
Can I?
And yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is there a way they're going to get any light into these buildings, or is that just not plausible? I mean, these buildings don't have any daylight, so I didn't know if there was any roof monitors.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ramsey, you're talking about the science building or the
Science
main
building.
There is no opening in the windows. We have some skylights in the roof to accommodate for
Okay, good.
exterior.
There'll be a little bit of light. That's at least some relief.
This is the process of installing the air conditioning unit, and yes, as you see, there's a helicopter picking up the units and drop them on the roof. This happened 2 weeks ago. From there, we're going to Pinole Valley High. There's quite a bit of work is taking place. Work in the storm drain, grading. This is the main water line that will feed the new campus as well. This is the retention basin. It's the corner side of the field. The process of completing the detention basin itself. As you see, that's the far end of the detention basin. A manhole has been installed. This is the sewer line going to Pinole Valley Road. Had some issues there. But these are the final steps of installing the sewer line that is going to connect it to Pinole Valley Road. That's all what I have for tonight. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Talked about Helms very quickly. This is a three-ring binder, as about almost 400 pages of document that went to the city of San Pablo to document the cost that the district incurred to prep the pad for the community center. Just an FYI, haven't got a response back yet.
Did they give us thanks for doing it?
I'm sorry?
Did they give us any thanks for taking care of that responsibility for them?
No, well, yes and no, Mr. Ramsey. Yes, they said we're going to pay 1/3 of what we're asking for, and they called the rest of the stuff undisputed amount. We will meet and discuss on another note.
Okay, I had a question for Martin, and then I don't want you to leave. Martin, on the Pinole Middle Fields, I know Sherry's not here. Did we get the $500,000 from the city of Pinole?
Yes, we have.
I need to hear from Martin. He's my accountant, please.
I picked up the check.
You might know him, but he's the one he's the accountant.
He got the check.
He has the check. Don't leave yet, man.
I picked it up.
Magdi gave me the check, but yes, we got the check for $500,000.
That's why, and
from
Mr.
Helms.
Bill, that's why I think it's important, because they've given us the money, and we need to bid the project out since they've already advanced us the money. This is about keeping our commitment and our responsibility. Ethically, if we've taken money, we need to move forward. When does it look like, Mr. Abdallah, Pinole Middle? Now, you've heard it, boy. We've taken $500,000 from the city of Pinole. I would hope by doing that, we believe there's some urgency in terms of getting this project out on the street.
Well, Mr. Ramsey, we're pushing very hard to keep the scheduled date for Pinole Middle School. Pinole Middle School today, it is not ready to go out to bed. There's quite a bit of coordination issues. We're still working on it. As you very well know, that the architects have changed locations, and they had a long talk with them today. They don't even have an internet connection, so they are a little bit behind. Pinole Middle School field, I'm hoping that we'll keep our commitment as scheduled the first part of the second quarter
Okay, so
of this
April
year.
or May. What are we doing around the pre-qualification law of the mechanical crafts?
Well, Mr. Ramsey, as you all know, that we actually were taking the lead in this process, and so when this new law came in, it didn't come to us as a surprise. We already established the process, we had the policies. We came in here to the board, and we got the board approval to adopt the mandated pre-qualification and the enhanced pre-qualification for our major projects and Kennedy Swim Center. We are ahead of the game in that regard. We are going to start putting out the advertisement for the mechanical, plumbing, and electrical subcontractors pre-qualification and the general contractor pre-qualification after I finalize everything with the attorneys tomorrow.
Okay, that's for the swim center?
No, that's for the mandated $1 million and above.
Just have a pool of pre-qualified.
Yes.
And when is the Kennedy Swim Center going to go out to bid?
Well, the Kennedy Swim Center is set to go out late this quarter, so we're looking at, if not March, maybe early April.
Okay, because Bill Lindsay from the city of Richmond asked me last night, and they're saying they really want to start seeing that move.
Well, you're right, and we'll be ready for it. Remember, the architect has to go back and change all of the alternates, and which we already taking care of that.
We're adamant about that. Very adamant. All right, so but they're moving that and then so.
Absolutely. We actually had a very good meeting with them today, and we're moving forward with it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Enos, yes.
Mr. Abdallah, I had one conversation with a couple of folks up towards Pinole Valley, and there was some concern about the phasing for when the gym would then become unavailable for instruction. Has there been any conversation that you've heard in terms of clarifying that? Because the people that I was talking to, I didn't have an answer, and I told them I would ask you when I got a chance, and this is a good chance.
Absolutely, Mr. Enos. The gym is not going to get out of commission until we start the demolition of the existing campus. That's not going to take place until August next year. Knowing that in the temporary housing we have kept the existing bungalows for the weight rooms and we accommodated for the gym, they will have a use of it comes August next year.
And I'm glad that you asked this because what about the baseball field?
What baseball?
At Pinole, Phil Green from the city of Pinole called me and said the varsity baseball team does not have any idea about where they're going to be. It's gone. So where are they going?
Mr. Ramsey, we had a long meeting with the city today about that. We are in the we are in the process of doing some improvement on Pinole Park. And
I just want to tell him. Yeah.
Just to give Mr. Hoslander credit, he's the one who's leading this effort. I can call him in. He can give you some more details about what needs to be done there.
Okay, Mr. Fay, you have a follow-up?
So at my director's meeting this morning, in talking with Mr. Hoslander, he expected for us to have the right of entry to be able to start improvements in the park today or no later than tomorrow. My project manager on the project is Joe Mays, and I told him to start tomorrow at noon, and I'll put in a call to the city and ensure that we can be successful in providing a facility for the baseball team by mid-February when their season starts.
All right, and finally, with El Cerrito Stadium, how do we plan to move forward? What are your thoughts on that and what's going on currently? Where are we at with El Cerrito Stadium?
Well, as you know, Mr. Ramsey, we've had a pre-con meeting today. There's an issue with the abatement of the hazard material. There's no dispute. Well, there's no argument there. We responding back, as you see in the letter I sent to the contractor this afternoon. I'm meeting with the attorneys tomorrow. As far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue, Mr. Ramsey. It's in his scope of work. He will have to proceed with that.
All right, because we need to get going on that, and I have full confidence that Wright's not going to play games about saying we excluded the hazmat in that when they had a post-bid meeting, and I thought this was addressed. Mr. Fay, do you have any understanding yet of that?
I understand that we're not going to slow down the project, so I've directed Mr. Abdallah to get with legal counsel so we know how far to push and when, but it's not going to stop us.
I just don't want to have, before we even start, conflicting problems with the contractor and the school district, because then that's going to spill over into the community. And I just want that to be resolved. He did a good job at De Anza, but this is a very sensitive project, and we need to make sure everybody's in line and not arguing about gotcha in the drawings, you didn't say this, and all this other stuff. Because that's just a recipe for a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo. And I want to bring it to the board's attention, and we need to be kept abreast of this. Okay? All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
No, the one question on the Loney, what's the final outcome with Zovich and the next phase in the kindergarten transitional TK program? What are we doing with that?
Well, Mr. Ramsey, as I mentioned to you before, we are going to give him direction to take phase 2 work out of his contract.
Has that happened?
Yes, we have given him the ASI already, and I've met with him today. We're going to meet a little bit again sometime next week to finalize the numbers. Doing that will help him to focus in finishing the interior of these 2 buildings, because we give them the furniture delivery schedule as well. And we're going to have to put 2 contracts out to finish the temporary housing on the temporary play yard and the abatement and demo of the existing buildings, and prep for the permanent play yard sometime in September, October of next year.
Okay. I'm a little surprised at what wasn't in the presentation. Can you let the board know what's going on with Coronado Elementary?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have probably included a slide or 2 there. They just barely start mobilizing. Their NTP date was this Monday. They did mobilize already during the 2 weeks or 3 weeks winter break. There's not a whole lot action happening now, Mr. Ramsey. I will make sure to report on Coronado next
You know, I saw Lathrop out there. The last 3 days, they're starting to get.
You're right.
Bay City Paving and Grady's out there. So, and I got to give Lathrop credit. They went to all the neighbors and told them that construction has started. So, Jackie's out there as well. So, I'm excited for Coronado. It has gotten started.
Right.
So next time, if you have a slideshow, at least add Coronado now.
Definitely.
So people know that it's happening. But I appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your presentation. Is there any unfinished requests to address the board?
There is not.
All right. Comments of the Board of Education or student board member? Your final thing, did you enjoy yourself? What were your thoughts? We got out pretty early tonight.
Yeah, I actually really followed through the discussions today, and a lot of it actually I zoned in on a lot of things that I understood, and like that mainly pertain to me and like my colleagues at school. So I actually have a lot of things to discuss with the principal, tell him about the things that we talked about today, and just like, to be honest, I talk about this stuff with my friends, and it's pretty cool. Like hearing you guys actually talking about it, and it makes me feel like, as a student of this district and as Pinole Valley High, that we're actually being thought about, and things are actually getting a move on and actually happening. So.
Yeah, thank you for your participation. I'm glad. And you're right, Pinole Valley High, in 4 years we'll have a brand new high school. Mr. Enos, any closing comments?
It's the beginning of the year. We got a lot of stuff to do in a lot of areas, but I want